Yeah, it's always difficult to start these things. Can you not look at me like that? Because then, yeah, like, what the fuck, bro? Why are you looking at me like
It's
that?
like my normal look.
You're looking at me funny, bro. What the fuck?
I'm looking at you normally, man.
But yeah, basically,
Are you talking to me or like to the mic? Like, is it still like?
we're starting, no?
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm game. Let's go. Like, we're doing the introductions, so I'm just gonna like talk about introducing the brand and introducing the people behind the brand, and yeah, like why we decided to do this first of all. Yeah. So what's up, guys? Yeah, basically before we get started, I think it's important to kind of get the introductions out the way. Ultimately, this podcast is, well, we don't know. It's probably going to be under the name Barebanannas. So we also wanted the people to know who are the people behind Barebanannas, because, you know, behind every sort of entrepreneurial event or anything really in this life, there's usually a person behind it. So, yeah, I'll let Nick introduce himself, and then we'll pick it up from there.
Yeah, first, welcome to our podcast. It's a pleasure to be here. It was always like kind of our goal to have this podcast, and finally we are on the road of launching it, and it's pretty exciting. I'm Nick, 21 years old, and I'm half Greek, half German, and yeah, now I live in Amsterdam, and yeah, we trying to change the world.
I mean, it's an interesting journey that we've been on, and I'm kind of the guy that usually rambles a lot, so I'll just get straight with it with the introduction. My name is Maverick Mason, and yeah, I'm Zimbabwean, born and bred, 24 years of age, entrepreneur of sort, artist of sorts as well, dabble with a bit of poetry, with a bit of music, with a bit of painting, drawing. I do quite a lot, to be fair. I still don't really know what I'm actually good at, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
All right, sick. Yeah, and we kind of want to talk about what our goal is with Barebanannas, because a lot of people still ask us, and I mean, it's still not that like out on our socials really, or like easy to understand. So this podcast will also help you understand what we're trying to achieve with Barebanannas.
But I think like before we actually get to what we're trying to achieve with Bear, it'll be dope to just give you a little short story of like what Barebanannas is, how it came about, so you know you understand a bit more of the history. And yeah, then after that, hopefully we can talk about the goals and the vision. So I'll just get straight into it. Basically, long story short, yeah, I think for like 5 years prior to when we launched Bear, I'd been conscripting brands, yeah, during that 5 years, trying to start something, and you know, I really wanted it to be super perfect. You know, it was supposed to be like your Gucci made overnight, pretty much. But as a young person, I consistently came into roadblocks, and I also then realized that, you know, seeking perfection and continuing to plan and go on and on and on, trying to make shit perfect, nothing was ever going to start, because nothing is ever perfect. We can strive for perfection, but ultimately we just get better quality and excellence, but we don't really get perfect. So yeah, also as an artist, I'm really inspired by people. So I look at people from a day-to-day basis. I look at what people are doing, and I'm just inspired by the strength that people have. And I realize that people were flawed creatures. People were not perfect. And in today's society, particularly with like social media and this sort of thing, yeah, excuse me, sorry for that. But like particularly with social media and this sort of thing, like people were just not perfect. So I kind of figured that, you know, why don't we start a brand that's embracing people's imperfections, embracing the fact that as a human species we're not perfect, and like something that's raw, something that was real, something that was authentic, because I felt that was really lacking in our generation, particularly I think it's mainly because of social media, you know.
True, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, after that, that's pretty much how everything came to be. That's why the name was Bear. Then yeah, I was like, you know, Bear sounds too cool, and I didn't really necessarily want to bounce with a concept that was too cool, because not everyone can relate with that, and that's also, you know, gets into like embracing something that you're not. So I wanted the concept to be for everybody, and I was like, how can we make this concept crazy that we can do anything we want with it? And I was like, fuck it, let's slap bananas in front of that shit. You know, at first it sounded fucking weird. I was like, I don't really vibe with this, because you know I always like to be cool and shit. I'm wearing glasses on this fucking video, but yeah, I was like, fuck it, it's gonna be crazy if we put bananas in front of it, and hence Barebanannas.
True. Now you also got your explanation why the name Barebanannas, because a lot of people asked us, and now the story is finally out there and people can go check it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we can go now to the vision and what we're trying to achieve.
For sure.
And yeah, I mean, you already mentioned it, that we are a brand that promotes imperfection, that promotes like rawness. And what comes with that is being authentic, being who you really are. And then you also mentioned social media. And yeah, on social media, people portray to be somebody they are not. And this kind of gives like this perception out there that everybody is so perfect and everybody lives a happy life. And people are just scared to show their flaws anymore, show who they really are, because there's this picture out there.
I think ultimately people are afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Which is also why we termed, to be vulnerable is to be free. And we're not saying that we're perfect. We're not saying that we are easily vulnerable. To be fair, the whole point why I started this brand was for my own journey towards authenticity. Because I got depressed by being, I don't know if you can say inauthentic, but like not being authentic and not being myself. And then I started being vulnerable with people. And I think I watched like, I think it's I don't know if it's 8 Mile, but like the Eminem movie, where, he goes on stage and he's having like a diss competition with this dude. And he completely roasts himself. That's the first thing he did. He completely opened up and he roasts everything you knew about himself. And, the other dude was like, okay, now what can I say? Because there's nothing I can say to you anymore because you've roasted yourself. And because he couldn't be that vulnerable in the same respect, then he got roasted and Eminem eventually won if you've watched the movie. I think it's 8 Mile, 9 Mile. My memory is
That's a big spoiler though.
But yeah. Sorry for the spoiler, but like, yeah, I think I learned a lot from that. I was like, look, if you're vulnerable, you can't be attacked. You can't, you're free, like if you put all your shit out there, you're pretty much free and no one can say anything to you. If people are like, oh, you look like a fuckboy, it's like, yeah, I am. Then it's like, now what?
No, yeah, I feel you. Like, we're all in this journey together, and yeah, we're also part of this damaged generation, and we also grew up with social media and have like all these pressures still on us, and
pressures, traumas, insecurities, you name it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, even sitting here, like, I'm kind of sweaty right now, man. Like, just like talking to, like, even it's just the two of us, but then like the camera is there, the mic is on, and just like it feels weird,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mad journey, and like we are all in this together. So that's kind of what Barebanannas is. It's a movement. It's where people come together and try to change things together, because in the end we have to heal each other.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's really our responsibility as this generation to change the world. It sounds like a very big, gross statement, but I think it's true.
Yeah.
In that our generation, we have suffered a shit ton. Like, people don't take us seriously because they think all our problems are mental, and they don't take depression seriously because all the generations like, suck it up and, this is life. And it's like they don't really fully grasp the pressures that are against us. But because we have all this pressure, I also firmly believe that diamonds are made under pressure. And we have to do something. We have to change the world, actually. Starting with basically changing ourselves. Like Nick said, we have to heal ourselves and each other in order to heal the earth. Because a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, let's see how we can heal the earth. But the problem with why the earth is not healed is because we as humans are not healed inside. So we project our suffering onto the earth in the way that we live. But obviously these are all like our opinions and how we see life. Obviously different people will think differently, but from our own observations, or at least from my own observations, I mean, that's what I can say.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Look, I mean, I think most people, especially in our generation, realize that if you look at the way we as humans, where humanity goes, we have to change. Otherwise, we're gonna fuck up everything. Like,
there will be no humanity.
Yeah, I mean, we are on the road already. There's like everywhere in like 14 countries or so, like flooded, man.
Yeah.
Like, the signs are out there, and we just have to take action now.
Facts.
And I think most people actually agree. They just don't know yet how. And to be honest, we also don't know. We don't know yet like how we gonna do it.
I think ultimately the answer is love and acceptance and just being open-minded.
Yeah.
Because I realized for a large portion of my life, particularly like in high school, I used to love arguing because I was like, I am right, you are wrong. But I made like I lost a lot of friends because of that, and that kind of taught me. After I read like a book called I think the ways of influencing people, something like that.
By Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic. Like, you should read it. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's like a really good book.
Good book. Good fucking book. And like from that book, I just learned like, you know, you need to be open-minded because we all have different experiences. We all have different backgrounds. Take Nick and I, for example. Nick is European born and bred. I'm African born and bred. Our ways of seeing the world may not always align. We will argue on certain things, but then the reason why our friendship works and why our relationship works and has worked so far is we're both willing to like, okay, look, I don't see shit from your perspective. How do you see shit? And it's like, okay, I'm seeing it like this, like that, like that. And then we find a common ground. And sometimes we can agree to disagree and be like, okay, you know, like, okay, that's your perspective and I'll respect it, but it's not my perspective. Which I think comes to why Barebanannas is a movement and why we say it's a collective of individuals. Because we're all individual people from all across the planet. We'll see things sometimes the same, sometimes differently, but no one is under any pressure to agree with the other. Like, we can all disagree but still get along, you know? So I think it starts there, where you're able to love someone even though you may not necessarily agree with them.
Yeah, I think the key word is compassion.
Yeah.
And like, try to understand people, try to understand their history, why they act in a certain way. And I think, yeah, what you mentioned just now, I think I want to highlight it again. Like, we are a collective of individuals. Yeah. I think that's a really powerful statement because, yeah, when a lot of authentic people and like strong-minded people come together, and like open-minded people, like great things can happen, and I really believe in that. So I'm really curious to see how this shit will turn out, to be honest. Like,
facts.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, we just want to change the world, and we want to do it with you.
Because we need you.
Yeah, we can't do this shit alone.
Yeah.
It's two dudes with a dream, but it's not just a dream for us. It's a dream more for our whole entire generation.
It's a mission.
It's definitely a mission.
Because if we don't do something, we're gonna be fucked.
Yeah, precisely.
So yeah, that's kind of, I think, in a nutshell, what we're trying to do, what Barebanannas is about.
Yeah.
And we hope you got a better understanding of the movement now. You understand where we go, what we're trying to build. Like, right now, this is really still the early phase. And yeah, it's just me and Mav, and it's a lot of work. It's not really easy, you know. It's not just... Yeah, people always make it seem so easy, like you just post some pictures and that's it. But there's so much thought behind everything and like work, and yeah, it's a mad journey for sure.
Facts.
Right.
Like, speaking of which, if this is just me on some marketing shit right quick, if you do want to join the team somehow and you're really serious about it, we can't promise you to pay you like a crazy salary because we're not really like, you know, there where we need to be. But yeah, hit us up on our Instagram. That's at Barebanannas on Instagram, or you can email info@Barebanannas, or Nick at Barebanannas, or Maverick at Barebanannas, or our personal profiles, like Nicholas Lemke 37, and yeah, Maverick Mason, and a bunch of XV11. Yeah.
I think you will find it out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you tuned in this podcast and listened so far, you probably also know kind of who we are or what the brand is.
Yeah.
So really appreciate also that you spent that time with us here for our first podcast, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you tune in soon. Peace.
Ciao.